Let's look at Ripple. Now, where is it as it stands today in terms of, say, cross-border transactions? Is it ready to compete with, say, SWIFT?
What are the reasons it would gain value relative to other crypto? Say, for example, XRP, because XRP actually has a function.
XRP at 33%, leading many to wonder what could possibly be causing all of this upside.
And you've got XRP. So they're the cross-border bridge. And XRP works really behind the scenes as that instant FX bridge.
They try to shake me out, but I was born ready. Dropping down the price, then I be getting plenty. They want all your bags and they want all them empty.
What's up, good glitches? Welcome back to some more Moon O'Clock news. We had a major dump just happen. XRP today hit around 335, dumped all the way down to 298. What the heck is going on? Data-driven stocks. Holy cow, the PPI inflation 3.7% versus 2.9% expected and 2.6% the previous month. It's a disaster. Did this cause the market dump? Cassie Trade says XRP dropped 7% in just 15 minutes. 420 million liquidated across crypto. The entire crypto market just experienced one of the wildest shakeouts in a single 15-minute candle. XRP dropped over 7% and across the board, cryptocurrency saw the same violent sell-off within just 20 minutes. 420 million leveraged positions were liquidated. For XRP, price fell sharply from the 321 support straight down to the $3 level. A massive dramatic move in seconds, and yet price was able to hold major support. From that $3 low, XRP quickly reclaimed the critical golden retracement level at 311. To me, this has all the makings of another liquidity hunt. Just look at the chart and you'll see how the wick pierced those lower levels, but the candle body still respected the key resistance zones. Liquidity grabbing behavior. When you zoom out, it looks far more like a double bottom setup than any kind of trend breakdown. The drop still respected the major fib levels. Price did not break the macro 0.5 retrace at 276. Today's low actually held the 382 retracement nicely at $3. Let's be real, there's no real fundamental reason for this sudden drop. Some are blaming inflation data, others recycling headline that the US won't be buying Bitcoin for reserves. This looks more like a market engineered event to sweep liquidity. The important takeaway is that the macro bullish structure is still intact as long as you don't make a new low below 276, our upside targets have not changed. The extension from the recent lows are still aligning with the 470 zone for the next major breakout target. Now the big thing to watch is the $3.11 support. If XRP can hold that level after this shakeout, it could ignite some serious momentum. This is the kind of volatility that we are all here for. This could spark a new wave up, especially since shorts are now trapped after the recovery above support. Key support levels 311, $3. Key resistance 321, 341, 366. Macro bullish target $4.70. She also says that the 296 support will likely be tested. Crypto's TA bearish XRP 4-hour close below support. If this level is not reclaimed, we can expect to see the sell-off continue. Meanwhile, the producer price index inflation at wholesale level 0.09 versus the 0.2 expected huge jump, meaning producer price rose much faster than the forecast. And the PPI measures inflation pressure in the supply chain before goods reach consumers. The PPI is high, it can flow into higher consumer price index, CPI later, influencing Federal Reserve interest rates. A number this hot suggests inflation could be stickier than the markets hope, possibly delaying rate cuts. Meanwhile, while the markets are shaking out weak hands, crypto is ready for institutional wave.
The differentiation your platform has versus Coinbase or Binance, can you explain that in terms of why you've gone that road and why that is a growth path?
Yeah, great question. So we operate an exchange, and then we operate a data business that also has CoinDesk,
yes,
media outfit, and a conference business. And we wake up every day saying, how can we service institutions throughout our organization? We have over 1,000 customers, which is quite a number in the crypto space, which is still growing. And it feels like this may be a good time for crypto because you see the Genius Act coming out of Congress, the Clarity Act that came out of the House are providing an easy on-ramp for institutions to drive into crypto. The last leg of growth in crypto, the last 10 years, was basically all retail. And if you look now, the institutional wave has begun. It's here. It's a question of how big it will be. But just based on the reception we've gotten thus far as part of our IPO, it feels like institutional investors think this could be the moment.
It's only just begun. Subject views: is Ripple ready to compete with SWIFT?
Let's look at Ripple. Now, where is it as it stands today in terms of, say, cross-border transactions? Is it ready to compete with, say, SWIFT?
Well, like you mentioned, we started out trying to solve the multi-trillion-dollar cross-border payment challenge, and blockchain technology really solves that pain point. And we've been doing this now for over a decade and have processed over $70 billion and can pay out comfortably to 90 markets around the world, which is very different to some of our competitors in the market. And this really gives us this opportunity to leapfrog. Now, your direct question around SWIFT, I think there's a world where we both, coexist. Our customers really just want to be able to send money instantly, cost effectively around the globe, and whether or not that's using blockchain technology or other tools, really we just need to be able to enable a better customer experience. And what we've seen from an industry perspective is this heightened interest in stablecoins, because stablecoins really do solve that problem. And the nature of blockchain technology is it's truly global, and that's really kind of the benefit from a customer experience perspective. Now, more broadly speaking, solving the cross-border payment challenge has enabled us to build digital asset infrastructure that we're now banks and financial institutions such as SocGen Forge, BBVA are leveraging that technology really to build their own business. And continued evolution of regulation will only further that business model for us.
Meanwhile, they still won't answer the question about XRP. She didn't ask about RLUSD. Why do they hate XRP so much?
When I say you're at the dial-up phase of crypto, you are. We have the fastest growing stablecoin on earth at World Liberty Financial. Everything is becoming digitized. Everything is becoming tokenized. We're making the big banks irrelevant, and it's an incredibly exciting time.
There is no doubt that crypto, digital money, is absolutely something that investors wanted to take part in, and it is growing exponentially, in part because of better regulation, clearer under this administration. But Zach, other than the fact that people feel that it's a way to, I guess, support the Trump family in getting one of these tokens, what are the reasons it would gain value relative to other crypto? Say, for example, XRP, because XRP actually has a function. It is the token of the Ripple blockchain. Ethereum is the token of the Ether network. So what does this do?
Yeah, so
beyond just being, oh, hey, it's the Trump family coin.
So this is the governance token behind USD1. USD1 is our flagship product. Like Eric said, it's the fastest growing stable coin in the world. We're actually, we have way more market cap today than RLUSD. You just mentioned Ripple. Right now, we're blowing their stable coin out of the water, frankly. We have a little over $2.2 billion in market cap. We have over $500 million in volume a day. And right now, we're the second biggest Genius compliant stablecoin.
They don't want you with those utility bags, XRP. Meanwhile, XRP is a dinosaur, according to Scott. XRP is a scam, according to Mark. The Bitcoin flipping in is the root of all this. It's their fear of all fears. When Bitcoin becomes an altcoin, they know it's party over. Bitcoin was the demo.
Bitcoin price has stalled around 118,000, but that has not stopped some dinosaur altcoins from making serious moves. They are pumping hard. Ethereum is up 9% in the last 24 hours. XRP is up 10% in the last 24 hours. Over the last 7 days, Ethereum at 23%, XRP at 33%, leading many to wonder what could possibly be causing all of this upside price action on altcoins. In Bitcoin, obviously, we're at 118-ish rounding error from the all-time high. Yep. But are you wearing XRP socks? Because XRP is up like 10%.
The XRP army. So actually, I'm not wearing any socks today because I'm at the beach. But I do have Bitcoin orange, bathing suit. So everything's still all about Bitcoin. I've got the Bitcoin beard. I mean, it's beautiful. But look, I got in trouble with the army because I might have said that XRP is a scam.
Here, you got me in trouble with the army too. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. So I might have said that. And I actually kind of stand by it. And the fact that of an asset increases in price doesn't mean that the functionality got better. It just means that, there's more buyers than sellers, so the price rises. Look, I think the reality is, you said it's all politics right now. Politics and the idea that the government, and most notably the small sliver of the administration that's pushing this, really could say, I'm going to king make. I'm going to say this is the ledger we might use for this function, or we're going to put some of this in our strategic reserve. Despite the fact that there's no evidence of that, the rumors are great because Brad snapped a picture of himself at Mar-a-Lago, but I guess someone else snapped the picture. He was in it with the Donald.
Meanwhile, Secretary claims on Fox Business that the U.S. will not be buying Bitcoin, but will use confiscated assets and continue to build that up as a Bitcoin reserve. They'll be buying the standard.
You're talking about a number way above $750 billion. What's the story on gold?
Look, we've got the large gold holding. I doubt we're going to revalue it, but we are going to keep it there, again, as a store of value for the American people. We've also started to get into the 21st century, a Bitcoin strategic reserve. We're not going to be buying that, but we are going to use confiscated assets and continue to build that up. We're going to stop selling that. I believe that Bitcoin reserve at today's prices is somewhere between 15 and 20 billion.
Meanwhile, more institutional interest. NASDAQ, we're seeing institutional interest expand beyond Bitcoin to tokens like XRP.
I also think it's encouraging, Nick, that we're seeing it broaden out beyond Bitcoin, and we're starting to understand the fundamentals and other applications when you think about the institutional use cases for the digital asset space.
Then you've got XRP. So they're the cross-border bridge. And XRP works really behind the scenes as that instant FX bridge. So banks convert dollars to XRP, beam it abroad in 3 seconds, and cash it out in local currency, potentially cutting remittance fees from 7% to under 1%.
With that being said, Batman bag ladies, red days are for adding to your generational wealth bags. And the longer they take, the higher we keep climbing on that XRP. Rich list, what will those bags be when that regulation jar of molasses finally breaks open and XRP's true price is finally revealed? We'll catch you up here on the mothership. Appreciate you stopping by, tuning in. Don't forget to drop an elbow from the top ropes on that likey button. Shout out to the latest sub. See you at the tippy top. Later, glitches.
Later, glitches.
Staring out my window, I got the formula, stack them bags up and simple, and wait until we explode. I'll meet you at the disco, we just getting started like an intro. 589 the numbers, please, please call out bingo.